my name is Brenna Erlandson, and this is my date of birth speech. As I was scrolling through different websites on the internet while searching for news stories that happened in 1995, I never knew so much could happen in just 1 year, the year I was born. I found many different stories, but will only cover a couple. First, I will talk about the O.J. Simpson and the murder case. O.J. Simpson was born on July 9, 1947 in San Francisco, California. After a successful college football career at USC, winning the Heisman Trophy, Simpson went on to star in the NFL as a running back. He left football in 1979 to pursue what would become a relatively successful acting and commentating career. However, Simpson is now best remembered for his arrest and trial in the 1994 murder of his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman, of which he was found not guilty. He is currently in prison for kidnapping and armed robbery conviction that he received in 2008. Orthel James Simpson was born on July 9, 1947 in San Francisco, California. His aunt gave him the name Ortheno, supposedly the name of a French actor she liked. Simpson played football at Galileo High School, and after breaking junior college records at the City College of San Francisco, he was heavily recruited. He gained fame as a two-time All-American halfback for the USC Trojans, setting NCAA records and winning the Heisman Trophy. Simpson joined the professional Buffalo Bills in 1969, but did not excel until the offense was tailored to showcase his running nicknamed the Juice. Simpson topped 1,000 yards rushing over 5 consecutive years, 1972 to 1976, and led the National Football League 4 times. In 1973, he became the first NFL player to rush for more than 2,000 yards in a single season. After completing his career with the San Francisco 49ers and retiring from professional football in 1979, Simpson moved on to a profitable career as a sportscaster and an actor. He played a man framed for murder by the police in the film The Klansman, a role that would later prove ironic for Simpson. Simpson also appeared in the Naked Gun film comedies, playing a dim-witted assistant detective, and regularly appeared on TV commercials for the Hertz rental car company, where he was seen leaping over luggage and other obstacles in an effort to catch a flight. Additionally, he worked as a commentator for Monday Night Football and NFL on NBC brand. Simpson married Marguerite L. Whitley on June 24, 1967. They had 3 children, including Aaron Lashon Simpson, who was born in 1977 and died in 1979, just a month before her 2nd birthday, when she drowned in the family swimming pool that same year. Simpson and Marguerite divorced. In 1995, Simpson was acquitted of the murders of his estranged wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman in a sensational trial that gripped the world. Controversy surrounded the evidence and famous lawyer Johnny Cochran. The relatively new concept of DNA testing were all debated in the media for weeks following Simpson's acquittal. 13 years later to the day, in 2008, Simpson found himself on the receiving end of a guilty verdict. He was found guilty on numerous felony counts, including kidnapping, robbery, burglary, and assault with a deadly weapon, all in connection with a Las Vegas hotel room robbery. Simpson is currently serving a 33-year sentence for armed robbery at Lovelock Correctional Center. Now I will talk about the tragic Oklahoma City bombing. On April 19th, 1995, a truck bomb explosion outside the Alfred P. Murray Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, left 168 people dead and hundreds more injured. The blast was set off by Timothy McVeigh, who in 2001 was executed for his crimes. His conspirator, Terry Nichols, received a life in prison. Until September 11, 2001, the Oklahoma City bombing was the worst terrorist attack to take place on U.S. soil. On April 19, 1995, at 9:02 a.m., a rental truck packed with explosives detonated in front of the 9-story Alfred P. Murray Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City. The powerful explosion blew off the building's north wall. Emergency crews raced to Oklahoma from across the country, and when the rescue effort finally ended, 2 weeks later, the death toll stood at 168 people, including 19 young children who were in the building's daycare center at the time of the blast. More than 650 other people were injured in the bombing, which damaged or destroyed more than 300 buildings in the immediate area. A massive hunt for the bombing suspects ensued, and on April 21st, an eyewitness description led authorities to charge Timothy McVeigh, a former U.S. Army soldier, in the case. As it turned out, McVeigh was already in jail, having been stopped a little more than an hour after the bombing for a traffic violation, and then arrested for unlawfully carrying a handgun. Shortly before he was scheduled to be released from jail, he was identified as a prime suspect in the bombing and charged that same day. Terry Nichols, an associate of McVeigh's, surrendered in Harrington, Kansas. Both men were found to be members of a radical right-wing survivalist group based in Michigan. On June 2nd, 1997, McVeigh was convicted on all accounts against him, and on August 14th, the death penalty was formally imposed. The following year, Fortier, who had met McVeigh in the Army, was sentenced to 12 years in prison for failing to warn authorities about the Oklahoma City bombing plan. Fortier was released from prison in 2007 and entered the Witness Protection Program. In December 1997, Nichols was found guilty on 1 count of conspiracy and 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter for killing federal law enforcement personnel, and was sentenced to life in prison in 2004. He was tried on state charges in Oklahoma City and convicted of 161 counts of first-degree murder, including fetal homicide. He received 161 consecutive life terms in prison. In December 2007, McVeigh asked a federal judge to stop all appeals of his conviction and to set a date for his execution. The request was granted, and on June 11, 2001, McVeigh, 33, died by lethal injection at the U.S. Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana. He was the first federal prisoner to be put to death since 1963. In May 1995, the Murray Building was demolished for safety reasons, and the National Memorial and Museums later opened at the site. After reading these two stories, I realized how quickly things can change when we least expect it.